I have spoken about the defense and denial strategies used by those seeking to dismiss ideologically inconvenient atrocities before. Defense and denial are common tools of conspiracy theorists and bloodthirsty lunatics seeking to dismiss atrocities. Defense and denial are, however, not simply relegated to the worst of the worst. These things are engaged in by one of the biggest political groups that there is: conservatives. Conservatism is, as the name implies, an ideology with the core aim of conserving society as it is or once was, and to maintain tradition. When you get into economics and other stuff, things can get a little messier, but generally speaking, conservatism is an ideology which defends society as it is or once was. Socially, this is certainly what conservatism is. Of course, our society has many flaws, meaning the conservatives must be well equipped in order to prevent any of those flaws from being acknowledged, or God forbid, addressed. The conservative can justify these flaws, this would be the defense strategy, or they can try to downplay them or refuse to acknowledge their existence entirely. This is the denial strategy. These are the two ways conservatives try to argue against improving our society. The denial arguments seek to deny the existence of flaws. It refuses to acknowledge them. The defense strategy acknowledges their existence but tries to justify them. The denial argument is descriptive, as it deals in what is. A defense argument is normative, as it deals in what ought to be. I will give you an example. Systemic racism. Some right-wingers claim that it doesn't exist. They cite out-of-context and misleading stats to give a false impression, denying the existence of the issue. Others defend. They point at crime stats or in some extreme cases even skull shapes and try to justify the at first glance immoral issue. Some people somehow do both defense and denial interchangeably, whatever is most convenient in the moment. The deniers are in most cases more conspiratorial than the defenders, but they are less immoral as they normally do not argue in favor of immorality, as the defenders frequently do, although the consequence of both ends up being the same as they preserve immoral flaws in society. It also goes without saying that some of the defenders fall back on conspiracy theories, as can be seen with the skull shape example I mentioned above. Why differentiate these arguments? Because this helps you to decide if you need to make a normative moral argument about what ought to be, or a descriptive argument about what is. Normally you use normative arguments for defense and descriptive arguments for denial. You will likely have to use both because many conservatives like to jump between the two. Defense and denial. These things are not just a tool of extremists, a tool of conservatives. But what's more, this is a tool of literally everyone. Everyone defends their worldview with descriptive and normative arguments. Everyone defends their worldview with defense and denial.